All right, so I'll let you go, Pierre-Luc. Thanks for coming today. Obkio is they are friends of Devolutions. We really like the team at Obkio and the product, so we decided to invite them to showcase their solution. So take it away, Pierre-Luc. I'll turn off my webcam and mic. If there's any questions, I think you have access to the chat window, so I'll let you go.
Perfect, thank you. So everything's working fine. So today we're going to discuss about network performance monitoring. In fact, we have a lot of stuff to cover. It's a 30-minute presentation. We're going to pass over what is Obkio and what we do, but just before to get started, I would like to cover a few, I would say, basic things about the network monitoring. So maybe just before to get started, my name is Pierre-Luc Charbonneau. I'm a co-owner at Obkio. I've been a network guy all my life, working for an internet service provider. And we've been facing problems from customers and IT people saying that they weren't having end-to-end visibility onto network performance. So applications are getting more and more cloud application using a user, and now we really see user working remotely all over the place with this COVID thing. So user are everywhere, application are everywhere. How do you monitor network performance between all these complex network transactions? So we'll try to cover most of this in the actual presentation. So let's get started. Just before, network monitoring is a very wild and complex thing. Most of us are used to fault or availability monitoring. That is only a branch of network monitoring. Performance monitoring is exactly what we do at Obkio. Fault monitoring, we know this and tools like PRTG and SolarWinds because these are really popular tools in the market who actually does SNMP polling and pinging device. So we know these kind of tools for availability monitoring. At Obkio, we are more on the performance monitoring, and we do active performance monitoring using synthetic traffic. So this is what we're going to cover later in the presentation. So just before to get started, there is a few things that you need to know. So when you're speaking about monitoring, so you need to know what are you going to measure. And this will really depends of your actual application. So not all metrics has an impact on application and user experience. So application using UDP like VoIP or video conferencing are very much more sensible to network performance. So if you're using these kind of application, you will want to measure latency, jitter, packet loss, packet reordering, packet duplication, and something that not a lot of people knows about is how to measure user quality of experience using MOS, mean opinion score. We're covering all these metrics really quickly, but if you go on obkio.com in our blog, we are covering all these points with a lot of details. And if you select in our booth the register interest or ask for more information, at the end of the presentation, we will send all the important articles. And we've just finished editing a 32-page guide on how Traceroute works. So we're going to give you this guide also in the exclusivity with the devolution events. So what is MOS? MOS is mean opinion score. Mean opinion score is for what would be the experience of a user using VoIP over a network. So how we do that is that we're going to calculate all the network metrics in terms of latency, jitter, packet loss, and packet reordering, and we're going to calculate in a score between 1 and 5 what would be the user experience. So I'm going to show you this directly into the application in a few minutes. So just to deep dive, Obkio has built the performance monitoring SaaS solution that measure end-to-end network performance from the end user perspective. So the way we do that is that we deploy agents in different remote locations, and agents communicate together, sending to each other synthetic packet or synthetic traffic, and we're going to then measure these packets, and agents are going to send these measures to our cloud platforms, and user can access this data via our SaaS portal. So the solution is designed as a distributed structures and offer historical and real-time data for monitoring and troubleshooting. And we work every day with even service provider and IT teams. So we have, I would say, 50% of managed service provider as customer, and the other 50% are direct customers. I'm gonna stop this this slide deck and just get directly into the application. So just before to get, I just want to look at the chat. Hi, everybody. So I'm really glad here to present you our portal. So this is a really simple view of our homepage. So as I said, our solution is based on agents. So agents can be of many types. We have software agents that you can install on Windows or on Linux. We do have virtual appliance agent that you can install on VMware or Hyper-V. We also do have hardware agents, small single board computers. We have 3 different types and size of hardware appliance. So the goal is to deploy network agents in all of your network locations, head office, data centers, remote location, even people working from home. The agents here in the circle are, each agent represent a small segment of the circle, and agents communicate to remote agents with monitoring sessions. So let's say I select this specific agents. We see the monitoring session from PLC hardware. This is my place, going to AWS 1, AWS 2, Azure, Google One, and another agent have installed here at home. So this is, I would say, this represent 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say a 4 office configuration, 4 network location configuration. But we can have much more complex design. So this is an example of a customer who used to manage an MPLS network on many sites, and is now migrating to SD-WAN. So I'm going to give you a little bit more details about what we can do in the application in a few minutes. And lastly, this is a customer with, again, a little bit more site. What I wanted to show you, there is some things happening on the network. We can easily filter the diagram to only see agents with actual network issues. So I'm a little bit curious, and I'm sure you are also. So the color code represents the status of the sessions and of the agents. So we can see that there is some yellow and red directly in the application. We can select an agent and see all the session directly connected to this agent. And we are going to drill down and see all the network metrics. So if I select a single sessions, wow, something is happening there. So so I'm actually looking at the last 3 hours of a customer between Sherbrooke and North Bay, and they're experiencing a lot of packet loss on this link right now. So what you can see on the upper graph is that we have data represented on minute intervals. So we say agents communicate together, sending to each other synthetic traffic. It's UDP packet at a 500 millisecond interval. So every minute we can collect 120 measure, and we represent each period in terms of latency and packet loss and jitter in the upper graph. In the other graph, just under, we represent what would be the VoIP quality, or the mean opinion score I was talking about, and we just class that in 5 buckets: best, high, medium, low, and poor, to see what would be the user experience. So in fact, in this case, this is a VoIP service provider offering services to very far region. So there is for sure something happening. This is the challenge to make some to make a demo in a real life scenario. I'm gonna get back in my lab account and just show you what's happening on a single session and make a little So something that is really cool in the application is that we can, for each and single session, so for each communication between 2 agents, we can activate a live mode. We have speed test features embedded directly in the solutions. We have the historical issues on each and every sessions, and we have a lot of Traceroute tools. So Traceroute are, I would say, the most popular tool to troubleshoot network issues. So we have 2 types of Traceroute in the application. We do have periodic Traceroute, so we do Traceroute in both directions between each agents to have historical value of what is the performance when everything is going fine. We also have some live Traceroute features that permit you to share your data with your colleagues or service provider. So I don't know if it's because of the VDI. I never have issues usually opening live Traceroute features. Live demo. I'm gonna try to do it on another sessions. If I can. So I'm going to continue with this customer account. Another thing I wanted to show you is, if I come back to my home page, is that I just shown you the capacity to do monitoring on a single session, but you can also compare result between different sessions. So one thing you could do is select an agent and just ask to compare all the session for this specific agent. So this is an agent installed in a data center to many different remote locations. We can look at the last 7 days and compare the results for all sessions, and try to drill down and troubleshoot what are the the issues behind all this packet loss that is represented in the application. So what we do in the application is that we in fact measure the performance, establish a baseline, and we're going to raise alarms in case of deviation of the baseline. So when we see, I would say, packet loss that pass over a certain threshold that we can set in the application, we're going to see some yellow lines and red lines for the error severity level. Another cool thing in the application is that we don't only do, I would say, synthetic communication or transaction between the agents. Agents are also SNMP pollers. So each agents can monitor performance for on many different types of network devices, as firewall, switches, routers, and Wi-Fi access points. So let's say I select a single network equipment. This is a firewall in the customer head office. I can see minutes per minutes the capacity of each CPU and the bandwidth usage on each and single port of the equipment. So this is really cool, and you can have the historical value for the last 30 days and navigate in the application. So we have an historical value of, we keep all the values for 3 years in the application. So really no concern to have into data retentions. But one of my, I would say, best feature in the application is the addition of SNMP polling and synthetic monitoring. So when you create your own dashboard, a customer are invited to create their own dashboard for each and single sites. And there is no limits on how many dashboard you can configure it. And this customer is actually, as I said earlier, migrating is MPLS network to an SD-WAN network, and we can, let's say, see what happened since the last 7 days. So this customer was experiencing a lot of packet loss since almost always, but they did their cutover 48 hours ago, and we see that the network performance is getting much better. Here we can compare the results of the firewall CPU, the bandwidth usage, and all the sessions that are going through also this firewall. So you have a really good idea of what is the user experience over the internet or over your private network all time. I prepared also another dashboard. This is a remote location that has been migrated to SD-WAN a few days ago. So as I said, you see here, this customer had a 20 megabits MPLS link with congestion most of the time that was creating a lot of packet loss. And yesterday, they just did a cutover to migrate their MPLS service to SD-WAN over DIA, dedicated internet access, and broadband. And since they have a lot more capacity now, we can see that the network quality is getting, the latency has been much better, and there is no more packet loss. And even if the bandwidth usage overall is much higher than it has always been. I'm seeing questions getting in. If you don't matter, we're gonna answer all these questions at the end. So I'll try to keep 5 minutes at the end of the presentation to cover most of the questions. So I'm sure there is already question getting in about pricing. We'll get that covered at the end if you don't mind. So really the fun part of the dashboard is that you can manage 100% of your network on a single pane of glass, having all of your sites, and instead of monitoring switches, routers, access point, you're just monitoring user experience. So if there is something happening on the network that impact the user, you're going to see it, and you can start troubleshooting only if you see events that might affect user experience. So a really good thing of continuous monitoring, like synthetic active monitoring like that, is it's a fantastic way to troubleshoot intermittent network issues. So I'm sure most of people who actually have to troubleshoot network issues know that intermittent issues are the worst. They're really, really difficult. When user report intermittent network problems, they're not really good to describe it. So when you ask question is what's going on, nothing's working, absolutely nothing, when, always. So this is the kind of answer the kind of feedback you have from end users. So you cannot count on end user to have really, really precise metrics. So what our goal with that is to make some synthetic testing and to replicate user experience. So as soon as you can catch the problem and you can replicate it, you can start troubleshooting it. So the solution answer really well the question, do I have yes or no a network problem? So sometimes people complain and they think it's the network issues behind the problem, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a user problem. So and in this particular scenario, we do have a really, really cool feature that we have developed because of the COVID. Initially, our solution was made to monitor the performance between branch office, remote office, and data centers. But with all these people working from home, a lot of customers have asked us to develop the solution to monitor the performance of users working from home. So this is exactly what we have done. I'll try to transfer back in my lab account. Just give me 1 second. So I actually have an agent installed directly on my Windows PC. And we have the same features for all the agents, but this feature is very, very interesting, specifically for people working from home, is that because we are in the network performance monitoring sphere or area, we really want to avoid false positive. And to do that, for each and single agent, we monitor the host of the agent's resources in terms of CPU, memory, network usage, and disk usage. So by doing that, when I install an Obkio agent on my laptop, I'm also monitoring all the resources of the laptop. So I can see the CPU usage, the network card, the disk and memory. But sometimes when user complains about network issues, there is not really network issues. It's just because there is some things going wrong on their own laptop. So by comparing results of the agent host, the synthetic network performance passing through the network, and the network card were really able to see if it's a network problem or if it's a user problem. And if it's a network problem, the second question you're going to ask is where is the problem? So how can I troubleshoot this problem? And the way we do it in the application is that we use the SNMP polling to see if the problems come from the LAN or from the customer environment. And if there is nothing on the customer side, all the Traceroute tools are really powerful to troubleshoot problems on the service provider network. So I didn't being really specific on that, but let's say I'm actually working from home. I do have an agent installed on my laptop, and I also have agents remotely, let's say in Azure, AWS, in the cloud somewhere. So what I monitor is really the performance between A and B. So the performance from my home LAN to my internet gateway, to my firewall, to my internet service provider, to the internet, up to, I would say, AWS here. So so if a network issues happen, it can happen in many different locations. So the next step to troubleshoot is, where is the problem? So if I'm the owner of the problem, I want to know it, and I want to know it quickly, so I'm going to solve it. But if I'm not the owner of the problem, I also want to know it, because my service provider is not proactive at all. So I need to open a ticket and to call him to ask him to solve the problem. And I did a little introduction to this, but I had issues with my my live Traceroute features. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to launch it another time.
Well, Pierre-Luc, time is running out right now. We have only a few minutes left, so you might give that a last try. If not, there are two questions in the chat. One being, what's the main difference between this and PRTG network monitor? And the other one, as you saw here, is regarding licensing. So I don't know if you have a couple minutes to wrap this up and answer those questions.
Absolutely. So yeah, PRTG and SolarWinds are the most, I would say, popular solution on the market. Their user manual is 17,000 pages, so they are much more complex solutions. They cover, they do have more feature than what Obkio does, but what we've seen is that there's, in most of the case, people are not using all of the features, and our focus is really into network performance monitoring. So we are really focused on into user experience, network performance, and not only network status. Is it up? Is it down? Is it answered to ping? So all the architecture of the solution that is distributed has been built to be more efficient. So let's say that when we do SNMP polling, we permit polling every 30 seconds, something that is really difficult to do with PRTG. And the core feature of the solution is the ease of use. You might have seen that the user interface is really simple. In fact, our solution is developed mobile first, so everything we do, we develop it to work on a cell phone to be sure that the user interface is really simple. So I hope this answered the question of the comparison between PRTG and Obkio's. And in regard the pricing, first of all, we have a free 14-day trial, and if you go to our booth, there is a promo code that is going to give you another $100 or 1 week, I would say, extension to your trial if you want to try the solution. And then the solution is priced agent-based per month, so it's per usage. In fact, at the end of the month, we charge per usage, per agent, per hour of use. So you can deploy agents, delete agents, move agents. So, and we charge for the number of agents per month. So the price is monthly. There is no long-term contract, and all the pricing is public on our website. It's around $12 to sorry, it's around $29 to $39 per month per agent.
All right. Thanks, Pierre-Luc. We invite people to get more information on your website, obkio.com. You also have a booth. I think people can ask questions and go meet you live in one-on-one sessions in the expo hall. So we invite people to go and meet you there. Meanwhile, thanks again for your time today, Pierre-Luc. It was very useful, I think. Really, really good information. Thanks for that.